Got some great stuff going on today, and I'm going to start off, and we're just going to get on going right now, because fact is that we have not talked about this in a long time. Why? I have no idea. So we are going to talk about real estate. Real estate, yes, we are. And everybody's telling you the market's hot. Oh, gosh, buy, sell, hold up. You know, it's like the stock market or something like that. What is really going on out there? And also, do you just take and drive down the road and you decide you're going to buy or sell a house and look at a bus bench and say, I like the looks of that person, I'm going to give them a call? How do you choose the right real estate professional? So we have here Rob Thompson, and he was with the agency. And Rob, thanks for getting up early and spending a little time. I'm excited to have you here.
Thanks for the invitation, sir.
Hey, I love this tagline on the agency: real estate, real results. And that's what you do, right?
That's what we aim to do, yes, sir.
Fact is that you all have been doing this for a while, and you're retired Air Force. Thank you for your service. We appreciate that. And so decided to go ahead and settle out here in Colorado Springs and help people buy and sell real estate.
Yes, sir, I am. Thank you very much, by the way. And yep, I did 20 years in the Air Force, and this is phase 2 of life.
Phase 2. I'm just kind of curious. What made you decide to get into real estate, Rob?
That's a really good question. Like a lot of people, in 2006 or so, I bought a house. I bought a house in a market that was ground zero per capita for loss, and going through that resulting process, I ended up short selling the home. Lit a fire of advocacy for me. I had a lot of people in my unit going through short sale foreclosure or bankruptcy, and at the time there were no ready answers, and I decided I was going to be the guy that got those answers. And then one day I said, I can get my license and I can advocate for people going through similar processes or similar process, or looking to buy and sell a house, just period. I can be an advocate for them in this area,
or even help them avoid some of the pitfalls.
That's true too.
And I love the just talking a little bit here, I love the your thought process, and I mean your agency, the agency. That's the idea behind what you put together is that it's not really about just buying and selling homes. And I'm not trying to put anybody down here, Rob, but we've got a lot of real estate folks out there, and especially new folks that really kind of just don't get it. And the goal is that close that transaction, whatever I got to do, just make it happen because I need to get my money. Well, yeah, I understand, and we all want to get the money and stuff, but everybody has to be happy with this, and everybody has to benefit from the transaction. And a lot of this comes down to education, and that's what you and the agency provide to folks is information and education.
That's really the basis of my whole personal stance is inform and educate, meet people at their level of need and demand, and not upsell people. What do you need? How can I help? And education is a key part. Specific to what you were just saying a moment ago, I think it's really important people approach real estate with a long-term perspective. Mm-hmm. Always have a plan B, even if your market is having double-digit gains. Have a plan B, have an out. In this market, for example, one of the operative questions in my mind is always when I look at a real estate transaction: will this rent out for more than my mortgage later?
Oh, good point.
Even if it's your forever home, yeah. You need to look at that and say, will this rent out later? Should circumstances change? If you're in the military and you get orders to move to another location, I really think you need to look at that long term, not bank on double-digit gains. The historical appreciation of real estate is around 3%. Some markets are better than that, some are worse, but don't bank on that. Always have a plan B.
I like the way that you're talking about that. Fact is that we hear people throwing around a lot of numbers, and when you're saying historically 3% appreciation, there are those out there that say, oh my gosh, we've got 10%, 20% appreciation. It's a lot like going to Cripple Creek. You won $50. Hoo-hoo! How much did you have to spend to get that $50?
That's a really good point too, and specific to that in real estate. When you buy a house, you want to factor in what's it going to cost to sell me on the other end. If you break even, are you factoring in carrying costs? For example, when you purchase a home on a VA loan, it's no money down. There are some costs to acquire the property, earnest money, inspection costs.
And who is Ernest, and why does he get all the money? It should be Paul money. Okay, I'm just messing.
Ernest is a middleman. Yeah. Earnest money is good faith money or skin in the game that the seller will require towards the purchase of the property. Mm-hmm. For example, you might have a $250,000 home that has $1,500 earnest money requirement. what they're saying is that you, as the buyer, need to put up $1,500 in this process. It's often refundable at closing.
Okay.
But you need to make sure you tell your lender that you want that money back at closing. So it's money you put up. You often get that back at closing. There are some additional costs that you should be aware of in the purchase process. Even on a VA loan that says no money down, you have that earnest money requirement. You also have a home inspection, and you may or may not have an appraisal fee of approximately $750. You need to ask your lender, do you collect that fee? Do you collect that fee up front? So there are some associated costs. Back on the topic of the purchase, once you acquire the home, you need to understand that as this you're not the owner, you're going to have some sales costs. You're going to have the real estate agent fees. You're going to have some title costs. You're going to have seller's concessions. The market norm here is approximately $4,500. So you need to factor in 8-9% on the other side for a sale to break even, where break even is defined as I don't owe any money on this sale. If you factor in your carrying costs over the last 2, 3, 5, 7 years, then you want to make money beyond that break-even point.
Well, and folks, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Rob Thompson, and he is with the agency Real Estate Real Results. And Rob, you're always welcoming people to give you a call, even if they just have questions. How do they get in touch with you?
Best way is my cell phone, 719-440-6626.
Or you can learn more, and we're going to talk about this, and you're going to need this. Go online and check this out, theagencycolorado.com, theagencycolorado.com, or you can give Rob a call at 719-440-6626, 440-6626. So it's interesting you're talking about this, because we're in this market that everybody describes as just super hot. And a friend of mine, she bought a home here probably, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And a good area here in town and things like that. Her circumstances changed, and she is going to relocate to another state. Talked to a couple of people, 2 or 3 people, about selling the home. Found out that, it wasn't even worth her while. I mean, she was going to be lucky to walk away from it without having to owe any money. And yet this was, like I said, a year and a half, 2 years later, and supposedly in a hot market. So you're bringing up some good points. She did decide just to go ahead and rent it out.
Right. 1 to 2 years is... It's going to vary by neighborhood. It's going to vary by zip code. It's going to vary by a lot of factors. We have a very large city, of course, geographically spread out. So, she had a plan B, or she was able to rent it out, I hope, for more than her mortgage and execute that plan B.
Right.
But you do need to factor in a good baseline number is 8 to 9 to 10% after the sale of your house is what's going to cost you to sell that house.
Okay, and that's something that you sit down with folks and kind of educate them a little bit and talk with them a little bit and kind of get their minds going in that direction before they jump into the market?
For sure.
Okay, yeah. And folks, this is important stuff. And like I said, don't take it lightly when you're choosing a real estate professional. Just figuring out, gee, that person on the bus bench looks really good. I think that's probably the wrong thing. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that here in the second half about choosing the right real estate professional. But let's just go ahead and just go to the market right now. What is the market doing? How hot is it here? People talk about that. And then also I've heard other people now saying that the market is kind of cooling down and settling down. Usually here in Colorado Springs, we find that the market kind of settles down a little bit during the winter months. And of course, people, try to move during the summer for the kids in the school and other factors. So what is it really doing here in Colorado Springs?
It's a good question. All markets are cyclical. Ours is not immune to that cycle. I would say that we have a pretty strong basis with the military population, and so there's a constant turnover. It's been a very, very hot year in real estate here, a lot of sales, and I believe it is slowing down a little bit. Mortgage rates have gone up slightly as well, so combined with the seasonal effect, the mortgage rates going up, and just the fact that we've sold off a lot of our inventory, listings were down approximately 1/3 this year, over year from last year. And what that tells me is we've burned through a lot of the lower priced inventory. And so the average price has gone up year over year. October last year to October this year, the average sales price has gone up $30,000.
Wow.
So it's been largely a seller's market. And I think we'll still continue to see that because the base level demand is still high, but the average price point has gone up. So I think we're going to see a lower volume of sales at a higher price point.
And that is the price point. That's really kind of where I've been hearing that there's the sweet spot. And I don't know, some people say $250 and less, some people say $300 and less, and yet there's this gap. And then the higher priced isn't necessarily very active. Is that true?
It takes longer to sell. The higher you go, the longer it'll take to sell. 200 to 250 is actually dead on for the sweet spot in our market in terms of market activity, followed by 250 to 300, followed by 150 to 200 if you're going to go by volume of sales. And that's from the stats are from our local MLS. So yes, the higher price you go, the longer it'll take to sell the home, most likely. That sweet spot is 200 to 250. And in fact, the average days on market for 200 to 250 last month were 20, and followed by 26 in October. Or rather, September.
And that was going to be a question that I was going to ask. So you've already mentioned that.
Yep, 20 days in September, 26 days in October. And of course, we're still going through November.
But are we seeing anything with like bidding wars or anything else like that? I know that, back in the day, you and I remember this well because I was actually in the lending and the finance industry, and 2007, 2008, I got laid off, and then everything crashed, and it was almost overnight. But there was this feeding frenzy that was going on. People were bidding up things, and they were acting like, it doesn't matter. They're asking $250,000. I want this place. I'm going to offer them $275,000. Who cares? Because in 2 months it'll be worth more than that anyway. We're not seeing that kind of frenzy, and are we seeing a lot of overbidding as far as for multiple offers and having to offer more than the asking price right now?
Yeah, to a degree.
I was going to say it kind of depends.
It just depends on the price point.
Location,
it depends on the location. Right.
Yeah.
I can two anecdotal experiences recently. A home in the 300s did have multiple offers, as well as a home that listed for around $211,000, multiple offers in the same day. So yes, we are seeing some circumstances where there's multiple offers. However, it's not a feeding frenzy in terms of people offering $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over a list price. Mm-hmm. That isn't happening in Colorado Springs necessarily, and it is capped by the appraisal. So when we list these homes, and when as a buyer's agent, when you advise people on offer pricing, you've got to keep that appraisal in mind. Will it appraise for this offer price?
Right.
And it isn't you don't want to throw a price on it and throw it at the wall and win. So if you're a buyer, it might not be advantageous to offer $30,000 over list price because that might not be a realistic offer. The seller's agent will likely counsel their seller that, okay, you can take this $30,000 offer over list. However, the appraiser is going to put a reality check on us, and we're going to have a conversation 3-4 weeks from now about dropping the price or reducing seller's concessions. So it isn't a market yet where a lot of people are having to bring cash to the table to make up that difference.
Well, and there again, that comes down to having the proper counsel, if you will, and understanding these ins and outs. It's not as easy as people think. I feel bad for people that decide that, well, this market's so hot, I want to sell my home, but I don't want to pay that commission, so I'm going to do it myself. It's easy. I'll put a sign over here, and everything's golden. And I would personally, Rob, I would never, ever get into selling my home on my own. There's a lot of factors that are involved with this, not the least of which is that you're executing legal contracts.
You are. I have to be real careful. I can't give legal advice.
Right. But if you mess up and you put something in there and both parties sign and you go, oh, well, wait, no, I didn't mean that. It was like, well, that's too late.
You've executed a sales contract in that case.
Yeah.
It's certainly your prerogative to self-ISBO if you're so inclined, but make sure you're doing it educated. Call an attorney, call a title company. They'll walk you through those processes, which you're specifically speaking to. If you execute a contract, you might be liable for that contract, or if you're the seller, you need to know you have an obligation to disclose certain defects in your home, and so very much advise you if you're going to do that to talk to an attorney, talk to a title company.
Yeah, and folks, getting the right information is the whole key to a transaction going smoothly. And whether you're buying or selling or you're thinking about it, if you just have questions, Rob is always available for you. And you know what? It's not like he's going to be like an attorney. You don't start the clock or something like that, billable hours or anything. So folks can you're going to talk with people and help them out and answer them whether they decide to engage you or not.
Absolutely. One of my mantras is meet people at their level of need with the information they need and try to earn their business. If we're not a great match, hey, more power to you. There's 3,300 other realtors in town. But, of course, I'd love to earn your business.
And, folks, give him a call. If you've got any questions whatsoever, Rob is here, and he's available for you. And check this out. When we come back from the break, you're going to understand why. Online, theagencycolorado.com, theagencycolorado.com. But you can call Rob directly at 719-440-6626. That's 719-440-6626. We're going to take a quick break. I want you to keep it right here on Easy 101.3 FM. Pros on Call is going to be right back with a whole lot more info. Stick with us. So we've been here talking real estate, and we've got Rob Thompson. He is with The Agency, Real Estate, Real Results, and they are here to help you. If you've just got questions, if you're not even in the mood or mode or time not right or whatever, you're thinking about some things, buying, selling real estate here in the Pikes Peak region, you know what? You can feel free to give them a call anytime that you have questions. And check it out online, theagencycolorado.com, theagencycolorado.com. Or you can call Rob directly at 719-440-6626. That's 440-6626. Now, Rob, you showed me some things that blew me away over at your office. Technology-wise, I didn't even know these things have existed. Maybe you can share with folks a little bit of the standard type of technologies that you use in order to market folks' homes when they sell, help people look at homes for buying, and how that's changing right now in the real estate world.
Virtual reality and virtual walkthroughs are a big thing, a rising technology, in my opinion. There's a Matterport 3D scans that take high-resolution scans, and they build a virtual walkthrough of a home. So in a very real way, you can get a really good view of a home before you even walk in the door, or eliminate that home if it doesn't meet your needs. That same walkthrough that you can do online from any computer or phone, any computer or smartphone, you can also export to a virtual reality platform. So if you come by my office, I can put some goggles on you, and you can explore a house in virtual reality. It's really cool. It's mind-blowing, actually.
Well, it is. I was looking at this, and these are things that you're doing for folks when you're listing their home, and I see all these possibilities. I see that people locally, they can shop in the comfort of their home, if you will. Saves you time, saves them time. The old thing of doing the old caravan, or getting into the realtor's vehicle and driving all over town and stuff, that's kind of over. But we have a lot of people that are moving here from other states. How in the world do they know until they get here? This is almost like being there.
It really is. It really is. It's a high resolution scan. You can see the signature of paintings on the wall, if you will. So you can send this model to somebody overseas, or PCSing from out of state, or moving in from out of state, and they can do a virtual walkthrough.
So
if they have.
We've got military where one of the spouses is stationed out of the country or something like that, and maybe the other spouse, has the ability, POA or whatever, to sign and buy the house, and they're doing it together. But this allows that person to be able to find the house so that they can agree on it.
You can, and the technology is so high scale. For example, the Matterport scans, you can walk up the stairs of a home. If you put on the VR glasses, you can be immersed in that view with a 360-degree view of the home.
Wow!
From any vantage point that a camera has been stationed at. And that's the scan, and then the virtual reality goggles take it to another level, and that's a standard feature we can offer anybody interested in listing their home.
Wow, and this is huge, and folks, don't sell yourself short or your home short, because we're going to talk a little bit about why this is so important, but give them a call at the agency today and talk with Rob and understand a little bit more about how they can benefit you, and it's, as Rob said, it's a standard thing that they do when they're listing folks' homes, but you can check it out online, and that's going to sell you right there at theagencycolorado.com, theagencycolorado.com, but you can give them a call at 719-440-6626. That's 440-6626. And I imagine the days are gone of the old school putting the sign in the yard, and we put it up on MLS, and maybe we put something in one of the little magazines that you can pick up at the grocery store, and we hope for the best and somebody's going to come around. With the technology online, are more people now going online to do their initial shopping before they even talk to an agent?
Well, I would say that those other mediums are not dead. They're still viable mediums, but my experience has been that online, the majority of folks are shopping for homes online. They'll find them online often before they even engage your services as an agent. They'll shoot you a message or email and say, "Hey, I found this home on this platform, this web platform, and I'd like to see it." And then you start a conversation with them, or if you can also use those same web platforms and you can market the online listing.
Right.
Or one of the things that I do for listings is I'll take that scan or take the photos or take the hyperlink and I'll market it on social media. Yeah, it's times. I wouldn't say they're dead, but they're changing.
Well, and I was going to ask about that because you specifically with the agency, very, very big with the social media, and there again, that's something that a lot of people are plugging into, and they might not even really in their minds be in the market, and then all of a sudden they see something and they go, "Whoa, wait a minute, what in the world?"
Right. Yeah, I do have a pretty large social media presence, and I build those groups, those Facebook groups and other platforms with a sense of advocacy to answer questions, inform, educate, and we'll put those homes out there and say, "Have you considered?" Or if you're considering,
right.
Here's an option for you, and here's a virtual walkthrough of the property too. And there's two schools of thought. It's still definitely interested in going out showing homes.
Sure, and you want to actually touch and feel it,
right? But a lot of people, the other school of thought is if I can view 14 homes virtually, I can save some time and effort by identifying just 3 of them I want to see.
Right. Now, you talk about that with Facebook and things like that, and you're doing some amazing things on there. But if folks would like to join and plug in to the feeds that you've got, you provide people with a lot of great information, and as you said, they can see some of the things that are on the market, do the virtual walkthroughs and stuff. How can they? Where do they go to on Facebook to join in those?
There's 2 larger Facebook groups there if they're interested in. One, if you go to the Facebook and you type in the little search bar up at top Colorado Springs Real Estate Group. That's one. That one deals more with the purchase conversations and housing. Then there's also Colorado Springs Rentals as a Facebook group, and there we have a more rental-oriented conversation where this is a really tough rental market, approximately 96% occupancy rate, very low inventory. And so people need answers, and what I've tried to do in that latter group is create a hub where property managers, tenants, landlords can meet and for no cost talk about their options.
Okay, that's a great one there. So that's Colorado Springs Rentals on Facebook.
Yep, brokered by the agency.
Okay, and what was the other one?
Colorado Springs Real Estate Group.
Okay, so folks, you can get on Facebook if you're buy-sell Colorado Springs Real Estate Group on Facebook, and on the other side, on the rentals, Colorado Springs Rentals on Facebook. Yep. Man, I can't believe that you got this.
Just trying to help people at their level of need.
I would have thought somebody had scored on those names, though, on Facebook. It's like, isn't that weird?
Yeah, you can have multiple Facebook groups with the same name, interestingly enough.
Oh, really? Okay.
Domain names are the ones that are unique. And if they would like to access our list of resources, they can go to the ColoradoSpringsHousingNetwork.com URL, and it'll actually has hyperlinks and additional resources, information on local schools, market trends, other Facebook groups, platforms. You can connect with us on LinkedIn by going to theagencycolorado.com and that'll link you to the other ones too.
Oh, okay. So all of that is right there if they go on to theagencycolorado.com.
Right. That's the base, the hub.
Okay. And so then they can connect onto the Facebooks and LinkedIn and all the other things there.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Well, that makes it easy. Boy, I tell you, time flies. And, we've been having a great conversation. I really appreciate you being here. But I guess at the end of the show here, what we need to really impress upon people is that choosing the right agent, and I guess that's one of those things where you had talked about that before. Maybe you just don't click, and nothing personal or something like that. But do you feel people should sit down and interview and get to know a person before they engage, whether it's a buy or a sell?
Definitely. You want to click with the agent. It's and there's a couple questions as we're wrapping up that I would suggest people ask. First, how long have they been in the industry? How many sales have they done? Do you have any references? Additionally, what kind of marketing does the agent do? You mentioned earlier, do you put it in the MLS and hope for the best, or are they a proactive marketer?
Yeah, right.
And what platform do they use? And then you might ask, how often will they communicate with you? I ask my clients that, and then if they're a daily communicator, I try to meet that need. If they are okay with checking in once a week, I'll try to meet that need. So those are some 5 core questions I would ask, but you definitely want to click with them.
Well, and you're bringing up a great point on there, because some of the people out there, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, but there's some people that need a lot of hand-holding, if you will. They just want a lot of communication, a lot of contact. They kind of want to know what's going on all the time. Other people are like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and give this to you, get it done, let me know when we got an offer, we'll go from there, otherwise I don't need to talk with you. But that's all things that need to be upfront, that you need to address, and both parties need to feel comfortable with it. Otherwise, somebody's going to feel left out.
Correct. And just remember, whether you're buying or selling, you are in the driver's seat. You're the boss of the transaction. So.
Right. Well, I tell you what, if you want to be the boss, because this is the boss thing that they're doing at the agency, they are making it happen. And anything with real estate, they can help you with real estate, real results. And that is not only their tagline, it's what they do. If you just have questions, if you're thinking about getting into the market, maybe here in the not so distant future, but you just have questions, you know what? It's better to go ahead and get those answered up front and get the ball rolling. And you can do that easily enough by giving them a call. You can talk with Rob directly at 719-440-6626. That's 719-440-6626. But check this out online. You're going to love it. TheAgencyColorado.com. TheAgencyColorado.com. Rob, thanks so much for being with us here. Great information. I'd like to have you back again here maybe in a couple of weeks if you could.
I appreciate the invitation, and I'm definitely coming back.
Sounds good. We got a lot more to talk about on real estate.